Dell Pro, Dell Pro Max, Dell Premium, Dell Pro Premium, Dell Pro Premium Plus, Dell Pro Max Premium. I'm not even joking on those names, by the way.
So, hang on. What is the last one again? Is it Dell Pro Premium Max?
It's Dell Pro Max Premium Plus.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of iTunes Fan Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Magger from the iTunes Fanboy.
And my name is Alpha DeWolf with a haircut.
I also got a haircut on Monday. So, Alpha's not the only one, but we should go ahead and get started with our first
It would be
topic,
hilarious if Tabby got a haircut as well. I doubt it, though. Nonetheless,
actually, let me text Tabby that real quickly. Did Tabby get a haircut? 3. Get it?
Yes.
Me 1, you 2. Okay, that's a sigh.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back to the Idiot Award, which is our first
I have
topic,
one too.
but-
I don't know if I sent it,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I have one too somewhere.
Yep, I have it right here on the group chat.
Oh, I have a second one then.
So this one right,
I have a
Alpha,
second
does
one I did
do you want to explain this one first?
Yeah, sure. So I was reading through the comments section on my iMac video because for some bizarre reason that video has performed stupidly well. But I was
My old
looking
Mac
back
videos
at
do really well too.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. But I was looking back at the comment section, and one of the comments was basically reading, he's got it up right there. Mate, you should have installed Windows 10 on it, or Linux. This is such a better experience.
Without crashes or issues. I hate to admit it to this guy, but Windows 10, especially on a 2009 iMac, that's gonna crash like crazy. And Linux, Linux is gonna have lots of compatibility issues because that's just Linux, and I mean, unless you have Android, which technically Android is built on Linux, then you basically are gonna have compatibility issues. That's Linux for you.
Trying to find it. Here it is. Pull it up. Alright, so here's a comment that I got on the Drive channel. Do you understand what a CVT transmission is, by chance?
Yes, that's one of the worst that's the worst transmission in the world.
Exactly! So here's a comment that I get. This was on my Equinox review. The Equinox, if you get it in front-wheel drive, it has a CVT. And I brought that up in my review, how if you do front-wheel drive, it's stuck with a CVT, and that's a bad thing. That's a very bad thing, which is why I'm telling everybody to buy an all-wheel drive Equinox, because let me tell you, you do not want to deal with a CVT repair when it inevitably happens. So, but nonetheless, so the comment basically reads, this guy actually complains about the CVT transmission, but for my understanding is very much improved. But I think it shifts very, very smooth this guy does not know how to spell, apparently, or grammar. But I think it shifts very, very smooth and performs well, but I do think it would be nice if it had a V6. Which, you know, I'll agree on the V6. I think that vehicle could use a V6.
Same.
It used to have one, by the way. But, no, CVT transmission, I complain about it for a reason.
Yeah, it's because they have improved, but they'll still inevitably break. It's like improving the Vision Pro.
you're trying to improve a flawed product. And here's my reply to this guy. He hasn't responded back, and I think it's because I might have embarrassed him with this reply, but nonetheless, here's my reply. My complaint with CVTs has nothing to do about driving dynamics. In fact, you can tune a CVT to actually be pretty fun and actually have it function similar to a traditional automatic, as I discovered with the Chevy Malibu. The Malibu I drove, I did not actually know it had a CVT in it, but it had one, and it was still more fun to drive than that Equinox with a traditional automatic. But nonetheless, my problem has nothing to do with driving dynamics. My problem is they rely solely on friction to drive a belt, meaning that at some point that friction... Nope. I can't. I'm so tired. Meaning that at some point that belt is going to snap. And that is not a cheap repair. A traditional automatic, as long as it was designed and maintained properly, that's a big if, will long outlast any CVT. Even though CVTs have statistically proven to achieve, I think the number is 6% better fuel economy, the cost of a CVT repair will instantly eat that advantage away. Knowing CVTs are more likely to fail, I can't recommend anyone buy a vehicle with one.
Exactly.
Because, yeah, the problem is friction in a standard automatic is bad, and that's why we have transmission fluid. It's supposed to lubricate the transmission so that way it doesn't generate as much heat. But the problem is with a CVT, it requires friction. And so you're inevitably going to have heat, and heat is what causes wear in these things. And that's why CVTs wear much faster than your traditional automatic.
And cars get quite hot inside. I mean, they're combustion engine cars for a reason.
So, nonetheless, yeah, that's my second idiot award. CVTs are not a good thing. I don't care how improved they get. They are fundamentally a flawed design that will result in a very expensive repair much sooner than a traditional automatic transmission. So, I digress. That's, I think I butchered that one to death. So, what's next on the docket?
Oh, this is another idiot award nominee on my how to use Cool Booter Untethered tutorial. This guy commented, "How do I untether it now?" I replied, "This is what this video is about," and that guy and some guy eventually replied today actually saying that I think he means like remove the untether, which he should have clarified that in that case. But in that case, I did reply back and say if you want to untether this, what you need to do is if you want to untether, what you need to do is, or if you want to uninstall the untethered, you just need to go into Cydia and have that uninstalled.
Okay.
Yep, that's the idiot award. So, shall I move on to a new, very critical part of this podcast?
Oh yeah. Apparently, we're discussing Vision Pro again, because,
Nope, that's not that topic.
Oh. Then my list might...
Oh, by the way...
I skipped one. Yep, my bad.
By the way, Tabby replied he did not get a haircut.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what I thought too, but... So, what's been one element in my podcast that's remained consistent and what's often featured in this podcast?
The cabinet, per se, of every electronic you own, basically.
Not all of them, but my cabinet is a huge part where I go to get my devices to showcase them, and I've had the same cabinet since August 2021 until just recently when I finally got my new cabinet that was for Christmas, and so I need to do some more organization with this, so my mom got me some more organization stuff for Christmas, but This is the new cabinet, and the iMac G3 is still there. I just have it sitting on the floor because because this cabinet is skinnier, I have more room to store my iMac somewhere else. So I have that on the floor, so that way it's not wearing down the top of the cabinet. Since my iMac G3, definitely don't think having that on the top of the cabinet helped my whole poor old cabinet any.
Do you have any idea how expensive those cabinets can get?
Oh, did I forget to mention that my old cabinet was technically a dresser, so that's why it broke so early.
What? You cut out for a second.
Oh, so my old cabinet when my room was redone again in 2020 and 2021. My mom got that for me in August 2021. I was initially supposed to just store my clothes in there. My mom told me, "Oh, you can store a few Apple devices in there," and so I did. And my mom, even though she was quite mad at me at first for doing that, because she wanted me to have a place to store my clothes, even though I don't ever really store clothes in my room now, because that's not usually where I change. Slowly but surely, actually pretty quickly, that became my cabinet for storing Apple devices.
Yep.
But then on Christmas break of 2024, 2025, it started breaking as one of the drawers fell off. So I inevitably had to get a new cabinet. So now I have a new one, which I'm pretty happy about. So that's really all I have to say about that new cabinet. So shall I move on to our next topic about the Vision Pro?
Yeah, the one that I started reading off. Apparently, Vision Pro only shipped 45,000 new units during Q4 of 2025.
Yep.
Is that up or down from before?
Does it really matter? Because 45... Because people consider the Wii U to sell badly, and that sold like 6.5 million units. Around 6 million units. So...
Oh, then yeah, that's totally piddly.
I mean, this is Apple again. They usually sell millions of iPhones. I mean, even the iPhone 12 and 13... Actually, let me grab my 12 mini. Speaking of my cabinet. The 12 mini, even this sold millions of units.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Although I'm surprised it still sold that many.
I mean, hey, it's Apple, so there's always going to be somebody buying Apple products. But Apple Nintendo back in did you watch Mr. Who's the Boss's Tech Fails video about Nintendo's Gear VR whatever Nintendo's VR console?
I've heard something about it. I recall something about it. Not much.
It was the Virtual Boy.
That's what it was. Yep.
From 1995, but the Virtual Boy that was also just CDs, and that failed. That only sold a few thousand units too. So yeah, clearly VR. So clearly, Apple didn't learn their lesson of VR, because even Nintendo couldn't make it. But that's beside the point. But as a result, Apple reduced the digital advertising spending for the Vision Pro by at least 95%.
Yeah, they need to make some very significant changes to that thing. Either, a big one is they need to lower the price, but the other thing too is they need to find a way to actually make it useful for day-to-day stuff. Or
that's the biggest thing, yeah.
It's just the thing, guys. I mean, some people complain about these things being so OP that it just makes every other product not make sense. That's like... How do you kill this thing?
You can't, whereas you can easily kill a VR headset.
These things are way too useful. They're way too practical.
Exactly. I don't even know if the Vision Pro is bulletproof, so... Actually, it
Well,
probably is, but
well, I doubt that these are, but
actually, iPhones can stop bullets in their tracks. So not as well as MacBooks, but iPhones can actually stop bullets in their tracks.
well, maybe if I get Smash Tech up here, we might have to test that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun fact, when I did my Chevy Trax review, the location I picked happened to have been a shooting range.
Oh no.
I don't know if you caught it in the clip where I'm giving a little exposition about the car, but on the ground was actually a case of bullet casings that I thought I had gotten entirely off camera. I did not. So.
Oh well.
Yeah, there's that. But I really don't have much else to say about Vision Pro. I'm just... Who's surprised that it's flopping this hard?
We called it when it was rumored, so I'm starting to think that we were right. I think we were right.
Yeah? I mean,
It
I don't
feels
like
so
being that guy that likes to say, I told you so, because it gets really annoying, but guys, I think we told you so.
Exactly. It's like how one time my grandfather, in order to lose weight, he decided to go ahead and stop eating for the most part and just drink coffee for the most part, and my grandma told him that he couldn't do that, and eventually within just a day or two he wound up in the hospital. My grandma got a call back when she was pregnant, mind you, too, saying that she had to go from her husband saying that he had to go to the hospital, and he said he yelling in the background, "Gee, don't freak her out now. I want to freak her out because she's pregnant." And then when my grandmother came in the room, she didn't even have to say, "I told you so."
Oh, jeez. Yep. So, what's next?
So Samsung is using their Austin, Texas factory to make image sensors that iPhones will use, and possibly starting with the 18 line. This is partially a rumor and partially a crucial topic, but
That is interesting on one hand, although I think I know the reason why they're going to start doing this.
we're not going there.
Yeah. Anything that has to do with the government right now is not good for tech or EVs. It's just...
Or it's not good for the press, I'll say, but that's
yeah.
that's aside the point. But that's... How about we move on to CES 2026, which this is going to be our biggest...
There's so much to unpack and so much to not unpack, too, depending on what
Yeah,
it is
I
you're
know.
looking at. If you pay attention to... I mean, for one, all of the big tech companies like Intel, Nvidia, AMD, literally all of their keynotes were based on, well, any guesses, ladies and gentlemen?
How about we have a drum roll?
AI.
Wow, I'm so surprised! I'm not, actually. I was being sarcastic.
Here's what's hilarious about this whole thing. There are two, at least I've heard, two of the keynotes. The people on stage, I don't remember which two groups it was, but two of the groups, NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, two of the groups, they tried to get the crowd excited about the AI thing. So they announce whatever their latest AI innovation is, and the entire crowd, I kid you not, dead silent.
Is this gonna have to be like in the So, did you see that one Get Mac ad when the PCs had cheerleaders?
Yeah.
Had to get cheerleaders to hype them up, and of course, I'm sure you know how in schools, like for pep rallies and such, how the cheerleaders will try to get the crowd hyped.
Yeah, they literally tried to hype up the crowd for all of the AI BS. And the crickets. It was dead silent. It felt so awkward. In fact, when other media outlets were reporting on it, they literally had to display text on screen. We did not edit this footage at all. We did not remove any claps. We did not remove any applause. The room was completely dead silent.
Wow, that's incredible. That is truly incredible. And unlike AI, and unlike cheerleading, which requires lots of complex training, AI does not. AI really doesn't.
Oh my goodness.
Which, by the way, I'm now in AP Computer Science, so I can. So I'm going to be, and one of the units we're going to be learning is on machine learning. So.
Oh, fun.
And we're going to be, and I can already tell you that, to tell you based on the fundamentals of one of the previous coding classes that I've taken, that AI is not special because it's still a computer, and all computers have to take in an output and make an out, take in an input and make an output.
Yep.
But that's just we've rambled about AI too much. But shall I move on to some actual stuff about CES?
Yeah. So far, it's all tech stuff. I don't know about any automotive stuff just yet. I'm waiting for Out of Spec to start posting some videos. Out of Spec always goes to CES. It's just they haven't posted anything just yet.
If I didn't have school, I would love to go out to CES, but that's aside. But I might go out to CES someday. But that's aside the point. But first of all, so Ugreen is now selling security cameras to work with their NASA's, releasing in September, which. That is actually cool. I'm not gonna. I mean, I know that's not new, but it's still cool nonetheless.
I mean it's good to have that type of integration for, because a big problem that we have with our security cameras is right now we pretty much only have a live feed, but we don't really have the ability to save that much footage. So
yeah, which is a massive problem, but you also have to pay for it too, and this usually gives other people the access to it, which you don't really want. But with this, with the NASA's, you get to have direct integration. Which, gee, you know what company would be? You know what an airport would be great for if they still made them? HomeKit integration of security cameras, so we can back up the footage to them, or else having it let it back up to an Xserve if they made those.
Yeah.
Although, if they make an Xserve again, they should probably make it a little bit quieter.
Yes.
Or I think Xserves are just. Well, I think old Xserves are just louder now. But that's.
But I mean, yeah, come to think about it, I mean, I don't know if Ugreen has the ability to access anything on their own NASs. Yeah, I'll say that. I don't know that. But assuming that they don't, because, I mean, you're putting your own personal stuff on that, why the heck does Ugreen need access to that is beyond me. But, no, assuming that Ugreen actually does, like, leave the customer alone when it comes to data and privacy and that sort of thing, that'd be a solid benefit for security systems, because majority of security systems these days, they have to get uploaded to the cloud and to all these other security services, remote servers in a server farm somewhere. So, no, yeah, that'd be good, assuming that Ugreen doesn't actually still have any form of connection with their NAS systems.
Yeah, because Ugreen does, and that's so redundant, then that's pointless. But that's aside the point. But Codis has now, and moving on, Codis now has a modular mini PC that with docks they can get to have like a graphics card and other stuff like that. Which, I mean, it's external, so it's not the coolest. It's not anything revolutionary, but still interesting.
I'm not entirely sure how well of a system like that would work, because, I mean, The problem with using an external GPU is you are limited on bandwidth, and so your performance takes a hit.
That is another thing.
So, and at least in my personal opinion, if you do like legitimately need a dedicated graphics card, you can't rely on the integrated graphics of your system to do what you need. Like for example, what I do at the office, SolidWorks. I need dedicated graphics. If I do not have dedicated graphics, SolidWorks gets royally pissed. And as a result, I need dedicated graphics. But if I had it external to my computer, then there's more bandwidth, and that means downgraded performance, and that's not good. So
exactly, and that's not exactly that's and the whole reason that people defend the current Mac Pro is because its accessories can now, it's very limited accessory selection. They can be mounted on the inside to be faster, but so
yeah, bandwidth. That's the biggest reason why many people still argue for the Mac Pro with its PCIe slots. It's just nowadays, I mean, Thunderbolt has gotten so capable to the point where, I mean, you can't throw in dedicated GPUs into that anymore.
Yeah.
The hardware doesn't work with it. And so literally anything else that you'd throw into there, Thunderbolt can handle those no problemo.
And it can handle that in a much smaller and much cheaper Mac Studio.
It's part of the reason why the Mac Pro ain't selling all of that hot. The only reason I think the Mac Pro would make sense is if you're in an environment where you're trying to organize. Like the best idea I can think of is for audio equipment, because you got sound cards, you got cards with drivers for specific equipment, and I can understand not wanting to break up those setups because, believe me, I work with audio. It is a royal pain in the you-know-what. And so I can understand keeping that around to try to not break compatibility, especially because the majority of audio engineering computers out there, yeah, those are Macs, not Windows PCs.
Well, I mean, even then, most of the stuff is designed. Most music equipment, most audio equipment at this point has moved on to just USB-C as well, from what I understand.
Well, some of it. I mean, from what I found, at least in my searches looking for audio equipment, a lot of the, I'll say, non-serious audio equipment, like hobby-grade equipment, yeah, that type of stuff has moved on to Type-C. But if you're actually getting serious and building a legit, proper audio music recording station, sadly, the majority of that stuff has not moved on just yet.
But that stuff doesn't really work on the Mac Pro, though.
It's just, I mean, like, take my equipment, for example. I mean, sure, some of it is relatively cheap, but it's still serious equipment. My Allen and Heath mixer, for example. It was not that cheap, by the way. I think it was like $400 when I bought that. That's not a cheap piece of equipment. It is still using not USB-C, but the infuriating Type B connector.
Oh, I forgot that yeah, so that would make the Mac Pro even more what I meant to say is that most audio equipment is even external, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still unfortunately uses USB Type B because everybody uses that these days.
Legit. I am dead serious. The only devices out there that still use Type B to this day are printers. Some printers still stupidly use Type B for some stupid reason.
Which is even more outdated than Type A.
Yeah. And then audio equipment like mixers, keyboards. My Yamaha keyboard, that uses Type B also to connect to my computer. And so I find it absolutely infuriating that the actual professional grade stuff that you legitimately want to use, they still have not moved on to Type-C. But all of the non-serious hobby grade equipment, that's moved on to Type-C at this point. Why?
That sounds backwards, but that's aside because even most average Joes still know what USB Type B is, unless they're of the 6-7 generation.
Don't get me started on those idiots. Yeah, I'm other than interfacing with older audio equipment, which again I understand why you don't want to break those setups up. It is a nightmare to configure an audio recording station. But other than that, I legitimately cannot think of a reason why the Mac Pro should exist. It is such a bad value. So, what were we talking about? Something
we were talking about that
a
mini PC with the code's modular mini PC with docks. We basically got that, butchered that topic to death. So, how about we move on to the O-Station battery charger?
Let's see. A charger when batteries can be placed on top and will drop into
the top slot. Into the bottom opening when charged. So it's basically automatic as long as you put them in, it'll just charge them up and then spit them out.
So it's a battery charger with sorting capabilities. Is this something for like double A's and triple A's, that type of stuff?
Yep.
Or
yeah.
Okay, I can see how that can be useful.
Oh yeah, same. I don't really. Luckily, I've managed to stray most of my equipment away from those horrible types of batteries. Although sometimes you still need them, like for my grandma's. Well, my grandfather's old toilet bank. Remember that video?
No, I don't.
You don't remember the video I made about the toilet bank?
Oh, that toilet? That thing!
Yeah, I made it in 2023, but the thing where you put coins in, then you pull the little flushings out, and it makes a toilet noise. Yeah, that thing requires batteries. I actually can't show. I haven't shown this on YouTube yet because I obviously can't. But my grandmother's duck that's saying, my grandmother's little stuffed duck that's saying "Splish Splash" by Bobby Darin. That thing also, you know that song.
Actually, no, I don't.
It's an old type of rock song from the 1950s. It's really good, but she has a duck that plays that requires batteries.
Yeah, so I'm looking at all of my equipment right now that requires batteries. My teleprompter remote sadly does. A couple AAAs.
My AirTag does technically.
Oh yeah, the AirTags.
Yep.
My mouse for my PC uses a AA. Oh, I don't know if anybody's ever noticed.
You love wolves too much, Alpha.
That's actually a fox, but...
Oh.
Yep. I do. So that mouse has batteries. This mouse has batteries.
That's old though, so that's different.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And then this guitar has a battery in it.
What does it have a battery for?
The tuner.
I
need to play this thing again. It's been a couple weeks. Come on. And this one has a 9-volt battery in it.
Oh.
And And I think that's pretty much it in terms of devices that I use regularly with batteries that are removable.
Oh, my LG TV remote that also technically has removable batteries, but that's not something I use that regularly.
My TV remote doesn't have removable batteries.
Actually, most of my remotes have removable batteries. I forgot. But for things like remotes and that kind of thing, this is the remote to one of my lights. But for things like, and then I have a couple of flashlights to do, but that's not stuff I use frequently. But that's, I mean, if you still have lots of stuff that use batteries like remotes and game controllers, then I can see why a battery charger like this, like the O Station, would be useful. But that's beside the point. But do you have anything more about to say about this? Shall we move on to the Ice Leopard?
I was going to say, is now I'm just noticing that I have not charged this remote in over a year.
Wow.
Come to yeah, I have not charged this remote in over a year. It's going to die on me when I least expect it, I guess. All right, what's this Ice Leopard thing?
Can't you check its battery percentage?
I think you got to go into settings or something to
so you
check that.
You can probably do that, but that's just and you can use your phone, so it's not that big of a deal. But that's beside the point. But the Ice Leopard is a portable ice maker that can make ice in 5 minutes.
I'm supposed to be impressed.
Yes, because it's typically hard to get ice that fast. Like, this is mainly intended for, like, if you're having an outdoor picnic or a barbecue.
So let's see. It's only at 50% battery? Scratch that. 57%.
What?!
It's been over a year!
I mean, I know you don't use that thing that much, but...
Jeez. And I thought this is just a standard Bluetooth remote. But wow. That's some wicked impressive. That's either some wicked impressive efficiency or that this thing's just got a massive battery in it.
Exactly, but that's... Shall I move on to the Floor i64?
Sure thing. Let me turn my TV off real quick. All right.
So you know what floor cameras are?
A floor camera?
Fleur, F-L-I-R.
Oh, Fleur. No, I have never heard of that. What's the difference?
So, floor cameras are a brand of thermal imaging cameras that are widely used in the industrial space, like for plumbing. But they now have a full the Floor i64 is a full Android floor camera that is designed to, because it runs Android, you can access other apps on it, so that way you can get your industrial tasks done faster.
Okay.
Yep. And then I'm guessing we covered Intel's awful launch at CES, proves our point.
Oh, yeah.
So this is
and AMD's and Nvidia's.
Yeah. But this one is quite. And then this is our final topic about CES, which is that the intricate stick-on touchscreen for MacBooks is now a thing. Yes, it's a touchscreen you can stick on, and it can be used with a stylus as well. For the last time, people, Macs do not need touchscreens. Desktop operating systems were not designed to respond to our fat little fingers. If you need something that responds to your big fat fingers, get an iPad. But I digress. Shall we move on to our next topic?
Yep. We'll come back to CES once I hear something about EVs. So, What's next?
So, chip shortages are threatening a 5 to 20% rise in consumer electronics prices.
Oh, great. I think we're going to see more than 20% price increases.
Depends on what we're talking about. If it's something like appliances that don't require much RAM, then that's more likely. And stuff that requires a ton of RAM, like a MacBook Pro, actually, maybe not Macs for RAM upgrades because of Apple's good. Because we all know how bad Apple is charging at upgrades anyway.
Yes.
This
whole RAM shortage thing makes Apple's pricing look reasonable for a change. And that's not a good thing.
So maybe Apple will be... Maybe Apple will actually be That's aside the
Apple,
point, but...
Apple, do not get any ideas. Do not get any ideas into that business head of yours. Your memory and storage is already outrageously expensive. We don't need it to be even more.
Otherwise, wait a second, I have to...
enough.
Never mind, I won't go to Windows.
I was lucky enough. I managed to finally find a solid deal on memory for my work system.
How much did you pay and for how much RAM?
32 gigabytes, DDR5, 5600 mega transfers a second. $250.
What?
That was a deal.
That's decent these days. Oh,
that is sadly decent these days. You want it from anywhere else compared to where I found it? They want over $400 for the same kit.
Oh my gosh.
I still can't believe I paid more than double for a RAM kit, same capacity, that is actually slightly slower than what I have in my server. But hey, in these days, I'll take $250 rather than $400 just for system memory for my work PC. Oh. That was painful to watch that much money come out of my wallet for RAM.
You know, these days, these RAM prices are starting to make us wake up with teardrops that fall down like rain.
I still have to get an SSD for the system. I still haven't bought the CPU yet.
Oh, you have to get an SSD. Your wallet is going to be toast.
I mean, thankfully, I'm not paying for it because it'll be a business expense.
Yeah. Your business is going to be... Actually, it's not going to be toast, but it's going to be... It's not even going to be toast with jam, which I know you like.
It's certainly not.
It's going to be toast with peanut butter for your business.
Yeah, I still have to acquire a CPU. I need a cooler. I need an SSD. Power supply. I still gotta get that. And I am not looking forward to the cost of that GPU. The GPU itself is 4 figures.
Are GPUs also going up in prices?
Oh, well, of course, because they all require memory themselves.
Please tell me power supplies aren't going up.
Thankfully not. It's just I'm choosing an expensive one given the application that it's going into.
What about... Well, that's probably good for the best. Let me guess, CPUs are also going up?
I would assume at some point, given that everyone is so desperate to make AI BS everything, and I'm trying to buy a non-AI CPU. But, I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should spec an i7 or an i9 in the system. Because they're really not that different in price from what I'm finding on Amazon at the moment.
Do an i9.
The problem with an i9 then is I need to have a really good cooler. Because those i9s run super hot.
Oh.
So...
Well, we'll just have to... That'll just be a problem that you'll have to solve some other time. Shall we move on to our next topic?
Yeah, sure. Ooh, scammers. What did they do this time?
So there's lots. So scammers are now stealing packages with Uber Eats, and which is a whole complicated thing. They're stealing packages via claiming to be delivery drivers from Uber Eats that are trying to get packages, and they're also, and another simple way they're doing it is scammers are trying to reroute package are trying to get into delivery service like UPS and reroute packages to easier addresses to steal. Like instead of rerouting them to your house, they're rerouting them to a place where packages are easier to steal.
That is just so low. I mean, stealing money is one thing. It's already bad enough. But stealing food? Really?
They're not stealing food. They're stealing like other packages of more expensive goods. They're using Uber Eats as some sort of
it's Uber Eats
method for it. It's a whole complicated thing.
Did you freeze up on me? Yep, he froze up on me. Damn it. Alright, let's try and reconnect.
We lost Alpha. Welcome back. Guten Tag.
Not sure what happened there. And it's not Starlink, ladies and gentlemen. We still don't have Starlink set up.
Do you know what Guten Tag means?
Think it'd stand for good something.
I think it's welcome in German, I think, but that's a sign. That Guten Tag is a German greeting, so figured I'd use it, but...
Alright, okay, so,
maybe scammers are stealing Alpha's internet bandwidth, too.
Oh, I wouldn't be shocked. Although I wouldn't know why you want to, because it sucks. It's absolutely horrible.
Or else maybe it's maybe MTU's having another gaming night.
You know, that's probably it. Tech students have returned, so... I hate their gaming nights. Nonetheless, what's next? More scammer stuff.
So scammers are now actually imitating cops to relatives of people that were actually recently arrested, and they look this up via public records. And the supposed scammers, they'll call out the relatives and say that they need to pay for ankle bracelets to get bail, and that's obviously a scam.
Yeah, I mean, technically that money's not supposed to come out of family members' pockets. That comes out of said offender's pocket.
Exactly, but I mean, it's just
that's how it works.
To be fair, I mean, technically the government's supposed to send a letter first too when it comes to things like the IRS with tax information and such. So they clearly don't have it. These scammers clearly don't have a clear comprehension of the legal system.
Oh no, they don't. But I mean, on good news, I don't know if you watch Trilogy Media, but it seems like police departments are finally starting to do something about these scammers and cash mules.
That's cool. That's very good. I don't watch, or what YouTuber is that?
Trilogy Media.
I do not watch Trilogy. Let me actually look them up really quickly.
They mostly make content where they confront scammers. Yes, I'm not joking. They actually confront them. And now they're working with law enforcement to get them arrested. But also on the side, unfortunately, though, it kind of had to be put on hold thanks to some other stupid people. But they're also in the child predator catching business as well. Even though, yeah, some YouTube might think, oh, it's some terrible, disgusting content. To me, it's wholesome to see these terrible people get caught and locked up.
Well, that's why they didn't. That is why they get. That is why they get that's why that content is allowed on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube considers it very controversial, and as a result, Trilogy Media doesn't have a lot of monetized content for some obvious reasons. But I think the work that they do is very important because a lot of it comes down to educating people. Despite that, YouTube is terrible at getting this information out there because, oh, we gotta protect the scammers. It's controversial. We gotta protect our scammers. Gotta protect our child predators for some stupid reason. Yeah, this really makes me upset with how YouTube treats that type of stuff. But I think it's important, and I think the work that Trilogy does is very important. So, yeah, go check them out.
All right, but shall I move on to something a little bit more interesting on a positive note?
Sure.
So, have you heard of the Clicks Communicator?
No, I have not.
So, you know who Mr. Mobile is, or Michael Fisher?
I do know who he is, yes.
So you know his keyboard company Clicks.
Nope.
So Clicks is a keyboard company that is designed to they make keyboard cases for iPhones and Android phones where you can bring back a physical keyboard onto these phones.
I still don't really see the point of them, but okay.
Yeah, same. Neither do I. But apparently they're now releasing a full-fledged Android phone with a physical keyboard.
Part of me really does not think this is going to sell well. And it's a very large part of me that doesn't think this is going to sell well.
They know that... I mean, they at least know it's niche, but yeah, I can understand why. Because, I mean, honestly, physical keyboards on phones, they suck because they're so tiny.
But they're tiny, they're hard to use, there's a reason why our phones... Oops, I turned on the flashlight for some stupid reason. Turn off. Thank you. Oops. There's a reason why our phones... is there a discussion I can pull? I'll just pull the show notes. Give me a keyboard. Yeah, there's a reason why our phones use on-screen keyboards. There. So that way, when you're done with said keyboard, you can use that screen real estate for other stuff.
Yep.
It's kind of a reason why BlackBerry doesn't exist. Failures to adapt aside.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, aside from Mr. Mobile and maybe Sam Tucker from Samtime will get a hold of the Clicks Communicator, but otherwise I don't think many other people will buy it.
I genuinely don't see this being a massive success. Because there have already been many attempts of trying to resurrect BlackBerry, and every single time they don't sell well. And I think that's because when it comes to physical keyboards, you can only get so compact before it actually becomes a major inconvenience to use.
Exactly. I think Samsung likes Blackberries, but he likes to talk about them, but I don't even know if he likes them that much.
I mean, I have a BlackBerry. I keep forgetting that I do, but I have a BlackBerry, and how often do I enjoy using that ever so tiny keyboard?
Never.
Not ever, really. Where is the device? Does it even have a charge?
I have a BlackBerry as well. A couple of them actually, but
Yeah, the problem with these Blackberries is here's the phone, here's my thumb on the keyboard. Look how massive my thumb is compared to this keyboard.
exactly.
Versus this. Gotta be careful they don't push anything. Now this is a proper keyboard. This is a joke.
That's exactly what I said in my video about why keyboard phones are overrated, but that I made 2 years ago. But that's aside the point. But shall I move on to LG's new Gallery TV?
Is this like a Samsung's picture frame TV?
Yep. But LG's making one now.
It makes me wonder, how practical are those really? Because I think if depending on what pictures you leave up on it, would that not subject the TV to potential burn-in issues?
Right. You make a very good point.
Because I mean, on one hand, if you use it to cycle through photos frequently, kind of like a screensaver, then I don't think it would be that massive of an issue. But if the point of these picture frame TVs and all that is to blend in with the wall and hide the fact that it's a TV, and to do that, you don't want to cycle through the pictures that frequently. And that at that point, that just makes me wonder: aren't you subjecting it to a higher burn-in risk?
Yes, you are, but that's aside the point. But shall I move on to OnePlus now?
Haven't heard about. Jeez, does anybody else remember OnePlus? They've become so forgettable these days.
I remember them, but barely. But OnePlus stated that the next phone, the Turbo 6V, will have a 9,000 milliamp hour battery and a 165 hertz display.
Makes me wonder if there will become a point where airlines will start banning phones purely due to battery size, like they did with laptops.
Is there a reason why laptop batteries are only why most laptop batteries can only be so big?
It's gonna explode! It's battery's fire! That's the reason.
I mean, yeah, that's a valid point because I mean, I imagine
we do have
the Note
Samsung to
7's
thank for that.
Yeah, sadly, Samsung ruined that for all of us because, I mean, most of the time batteries don't explode unless they're Samsungs. I mean, even Samsung batteries don't explode that often.
Yeah. Makes me wonder how many people would refuse to buy Rivians or Lucids, for example, because guess who makes the batteries for those vehicles?
Oh, no! Oh, no.
I'm not even joking!
You know Samsung owns a car company?
Yep.
Imagine if Samsung made a hybrid vehicle.
Oh gosh.
They
probably do. They probably do.
Samsung's hybrids. Can you imagine?
Whew. They better not be using the same battery tech as the Note 7.
I mean, even their washing machines had some explosion issues.
Yeah. And then there's their smart rings.
How many models of washing machines do they have to recall again due to exploding?
Or I think the number was over in the millions.
No, I meant like how many models.
Oh, models.
I think it was like 27.
All of them? Maybe? Probably?
No, it wasn't all of them, but it was like 27 or something like that, or 16. It was something. It was. Let me look this up actually. How many models of washing machine did Samsung recall? 34.
Wow.
Due to
That's a
exploding
lot.
lives. Oh, let me look at. That was more than I expected, but let me look up Samsung car company. Renault Korea. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, did you know that Samsung makes the the batteries for Rivians and Lucids?
They better not be using the same battery tech that their smart rings do.
I don't I don't think they are. At least from what I hear.
If to be fair, if they exploded due to Samsung batteries, then I think the media would be all over that.
I mean, they were all over it for when LG had their battery problem with the Bolt. So,
Shall I move on to our next point about Dell reviving next topic about Dell reviving the XPS?
oh, I should have brought my XPS home for this. Yeah, for the longest time, Dell's been having some problems with making an actually decent laptop. I mean, if you recall my review about my 2022 model year XPS, I think that's... Yeah, 9720,
Yeah.
that was it. Yeah, I have my current computer I'm using for work to get paid is a 2022 Dell XPS 17 9720 with a Core i7 NVIDIA 3050, something like that. Used to have 16 gigs of RAM, but I've upped that to 32 myself just recently. And, well, not that recently, if you know what's going on. Half a terabyte of storage in it. Yeah, that's basically what I use for work. So, and the reason why I got it was after you use a Mac, it is really hard to want to go back to using a Windows laptop, because something that Apple has continued to showcase to this day is Apple builds such a solid quality laptop that it's almost impossible to find it on the PC side. You cannot find a PC laptop with an aesthetically pleasing design, that's relatively lightweight, but also has quality speakers, a quality display, solid performance. I can't say quality trackpads because there still is not a perfect Windows laptop out there with a perfect trackpad, in my opinion. It's just, you can never find the same quality package as a MacBook in the PC space, except the XPS. There's a reason why in my review I called it the MacBook of PCs. And it's because, while I didn't spec all of the quality of life stuff in it, like, I just have a basic 1080p display, 1080p LCD. You can get a much nicer 4K OLED on that particular model, but I didn't get it because I didn't plan on using the built-in display that much. It's because I planned on docking the whole thing for the majority of its life. There are times where I use it undocked, but most of the time it's lived its life docked to two bigger monitors. So I didn't need the 4K OLED display that was optional. Oh, with the touchscreen apparently, because apparently somebody thinks touchscreens are important. It was also like a $300 upcharge. So I'm like, nope, don't need that. So, but nonetheless, I use an XPS because it is basically the MacBook of PCs. The problem is, after Apple Silicon came out, Dell realized, this XPS feels a pretty darn slow compared to that MacBook with bad battery life. So, shortly after I bought my XPS, out came well, I wasn't the one who bought it. My grandparents bought it. They were so generous. But around that time, Dell came out with the XPS Plus, which really took things to a whole new design level, where they came out with their own worse version of the touch bar. And the reason why they did it was to add extra heat sinks so they could try to drive the processors faster, which, to my knowledge, it didn't really work out all that well. The design was very problematic. The backspace key was right next to the power button, and there were many accidental, oops, we're shutting the laptop down when we meant to hit backspace.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's bad design. They had an interesting idea with the trackpad where it disappeared into the palm rest, which, from a design aesthetic, okay, I get it. The problem is it is very not functional because now you have no idea where the edges of the trackpad are.
That's bad, because you want to know where the trackpad is so I could use it effectively.
I also heard it was very prone to failure because the haptic engines that they were using for it were not particular quality. So, and that was the first Windows PC I've ever seen actually remove the headphone jack.
On computer, there is a reason why Macs still have headphone jacks. Wow, rhymed.
Audio engineers, anyone? Yeah, they still require a wire. So, yeah, that was not a particularly well-received laptop. They moved that design from the 13 to the rest of the lineup, and everybody hated it. And then we got the oh-so-brilliant idea. I have no idea whose idea this was, but I hope they were fired on the spot, considering what's coming back. They decided to do a whole rebranding where, we're not going to call our computers like Latitude or Inspiron, XPS.
Even though they're such iconic brands, laptop brands, that lines that have been around for 2 decades.
They're names that people recognize. And instead they decided to throw it all out for Dell Pro, Dell Pro Max, Dell Premium, Dell Pro Premium, Dell Pro Premium Plus, Dell Pro Max Premium Plus. I'm not even joking on those names, by the way.
So, hang on. What is the last one again? Is it Dell Pro Premium Max?
It's Dell Pro Max Premium Plus.
Dell Pro Max Premium Plus.
And we thought Apple's naming scheme was so bad.
Pro Max.
I'm surprised Pro Max tried to throw an Ultra in there.
Pro Max is such a bad name. Oh, as is.
Yeah, it's Pro Max is already a bad enough name as is, and then they tacked on a Premium Plus to it.
Dell Pro Max Premium Plus. Dell Pro Max Premium.
They did it to supposedly simplify the lineup and make it easier for consumers to understand.
That did not do anything. Or
if anything, it made the problem worse. Because, let me ask you this. What do you think the differences between these models are? We're going to start off with Dell Pro, and Dell Pro Max. What do you think that is supposed to indicate?
Dell is supposed to be for average Joes. Dell Pro is supposed to be prosumer hardware. And then Dell Pro Max is supposed to be for like professional industry grade and possibly even server grade.
Okay, so you got the Dell Pro Max part right. That it is designed for like extreme professional grade stuff. Dell Pro, business.
That's what I meant by prosumer. I also kind of meant that for prosumer, but not necessarily. So.
Okay, so you got that right. Most people never get that right. They think of that in terms of performance, like with how Apple names their chips. Like, you're buying a regular Dell, okay, you're buying a basic Dell laptop, basic Dell performance. But the Dell Pro, oh, you're getting a more professional Dell, so you're going to get more performance. But no, that's not how that works at all. Because if you want a laptop with more performance, well, you can't just get a Dell or a Dell Pro or a Dell Pro Max. You have to step up to Dell Plus! And Dell Pro Plus! And Dell Pro Max Plus! To start increasing your performance.
And then Dell Pro Max Premium Plus.
Yep! Everybody thinks title. Like Plus and Premium is for like the niceties, like higher end display, better speaker quality. I mean, that's what you think when they're labeling it from basic to premium. It makes absolutely no sense. So, thankfully, from what I can tell, they're beginning to walk back on that awful move. So, I can't speak to any other laptop line that Dell has. Well, my mom's definitely home because the garage is going off. I can't speak to every other lineup that Dell has, but the XPS is back, baby, and from the sounds of it, she's really back.
Let me guess, it's more expensive now.
They haven't released pricing just yet, though I would not be shocked if it does become more expensive. But they got rid of their bad touch bar design. The trackpad from a distance, it wouldn't look like they changed it, but they actually did add a groove this time so you can feel where the end of the trackpad is. I hope they change the haptic motors that they're using so that way it doesn't stop failing. So, and the keyboard is not as abominably bad of a design, where it was more a piece of art rather than something you can actually use. And at least from what I've heard on anyone who's tested it with their own microphones, those speakers are actually pretty darn impressive. Like the speakers on my XPS, they were pretty good, but they still didn't really come close to the speakers on my MacBook Pro. The speakers now actually legitimately come close to MacBook Pro quality. Which would be a first in the PC laptop space.
Indeed.
So, they're making some promises about stuff that's coming out from Intel. Apparently, it's supposed to be a combination of Intel's power and what do they call it? Panther Lake. That's what it is. That's what they're putting in. They're putting in Panther Lake chips, which is supposed to combine Lunar Lake's efficiency and whatever other lakes. They have way too many lakes. I can't keep track of them all.
They have more lakes than Minnesota and Michigan and Florida combined.
Yes. So, but supposedly they are putting in whatever Intel's latest chips is. No AMD, which is typical for XPS. They typically don't put AMD chips in their XPS line. And to my surprise, no dedicated GPUs at the moment.
Darn it.
Which, I mean, on their lower end XPS line, like the 13, for example, it was common. They didn't actually have dedicated GPUs. You had to go higher end to bare minimum. I mean, Well, they've updated their screen sizes. It's now 14 and 16. I don't know if they're going to do a 17 or an 18, but you usually have to first get the bigger laptop to get discrete graphics, and then at least back when it was 13, 15, 17, it was only available in mid-spec 15s, and then actually no, you had to option it onto the 17 as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you had to option them on if you got the i7, which is what I got. So, but the point is, their higher end versions have always offered NVIDIA GPUs, and they don't have them right now. So, don't buy it if you're looking for performance just yet.
All right, that's good. But shall I move on to, or do you have anything more to say about this other than the fact that, I mean, it's cool that Dell's bringing back the XPS.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm going to trade my XPS in just yet because, I mean, I'm working on getting a proper dedicated work station, like desktop, and I mean, the XPS is still fine for most other things. It's just having a few GPU rendering problems in SolidWorks, primarily because it's a 3050, and SolidWorks is very performance demanding. So, but it's still ultimately a good laptop. So, but the thing is, what I'm basically saying is I don't think I'm going to be in a rush to get the new XPS, because my current one is like, what, 3-4 years old? And I'm going to stop using it for high performance tasks anyway, unless it's for personal stuff, which I need to start throwing up a few house designs in SolidWorks. So there's that. Yeah, I'm basically excited that the XPS is back, because the XPS has always been the MacBook of PCs. And they need this. Dell needs this. The entire PC industry needs this. So
Exactly. But shall we move on to Condé Nast now?
That almost sounded like something totally different, but nonetheless,
So Condé Nast is the day holder for publications like Wired, New Yorker, etc. They got breached with 40 million phone numbers, emails, and reader names leaking.
well, it is a good thing that I am not subscribed to Wired or the New Yorker or any news thing, period.
Same.
That's a lot of names and numbers! And emails! Yikes!
Yeah, yikes. Well, shall we move on to Google now?
Sure thing. Pardon my nose.
Excuse your nose, but Google is now letting users change their Gmail addresses while keeping the same account. So, for example, back in 2019, when I initially changed my channel name to the iTunes Fanboy, I wanted to change my email from teddymagger my email for that account, which then was my primary email, teddymagger@gmail.com, to be teddymagger to be the iTunes Fanboy at gmail.com, but I couldn't, and so I'm not going to do it now. But now it is pretty cool that you can change
I mean, you can
address.
actually change channel email ownership.
That too. I meant like you can change that too. But I meant like now on your own Google account with keeping the same password and everything, you can just change the Gmail address. So
I don't see how that's helpful.
yeah, no. I mean,
Except for wait, scammers would love this tool, because this makes them even more untraceable.
But they can't have the same email addresses as somebody else. Oh, wait a second, but they can change it, so...
Yep. So,
Google, stop
scammers
helping
are going to love
scammers.
this.
Google, stop helping scammers, but that's...
Yeah, that's all I can think of with that topic. It's just scammers are going to absolutely love that tool.
Yeah. Exactly, but and I don't know that many people that want to change their email addresses, so that I guess makes sense. But moving on to rumors now, the budget MacBook is rumored to have the A19 Pro instead of the A18.
So would that be an October-ish release then?
No, it's still rumored to come in the early part of this year. The A19 was with the iPhone 8 or 17.
I thought we were on 18.
No, we're on 19. Remember, we were supposed
track
to.
Of this.
Remember, that's supposed to be in line with the iOS number, which until Apple changed it.
Oh yeah, that was annoying.
Yeah, that. I still can't believe
so
that
now
other
I'm never
people
gonna
aren't.
remember these chips.
I can't believe that other people still aren't mad about that, about Apple changing it to iOS 26.
I wouldn't be that mad if they was. I mean, it's a name. It's like, get over it. But on the other hand, it's like, why 26? It came out in the year 2025.
Exactly. It's not. It came out. Yeah, exactly. It was announced in June 2025, so it's not like. I hate how the car industry does that too, but that's a.
Yeah, just to be clear, I don't like how the car industry does that either. It's very annoying.
I mean, exactly.
Where are those clippers? I cannot find. Oh, there they are.
My nails fall apart so easily, so I hate how often I have to trim them.
Well, mine grow so fast.
Ooh.
They grow like. I usually have to clip them almost like every 2 days or something.
Ooh.
They grow that fast.
A few times.
All right. So. Yeah, I would have thought that although I guess if it's a current generation chip, then maybe they launch it. My question is, what price are they going to launch it at?
It'll probably have to be. I'm wondering if it's going to be able to beat the $700 threshold, and I'm wondering if they delayed it because of the RAM. Because of the RAM shortage.
Shocked.
Because it might not be able to be much cheaper than the MacBook Air after all with this RAM shortage.
Well, may come with 8 gigs.
It is already.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's Mac OS. It's fine. It's fine with 8 gigs. It's Mac OS.
Yeah. I mean, it was rumored to come with 8 gigs even before the whole RAM crisis thing happened, but that was...
So...
Do you remember back when RAM was reasonably priced?
Oh, dude, do I? Back when you can get 32 gigs of DDR5 for $110?
Man, those were the days.
unless you buy a Mac.
These days, you buy a P. These days, you wake up with teardrops that fall down like rain because computer component prices have gone up so much that you can't. That you have to even like buying computers to listen to that old song that we danced to will cost even more.
You really like that song, do you?
I just listened to that song on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's one of their greatest hits. I love Rascal Flatts.
Before we go on side tangents, because we only have one topic left, shall I move on to that?
Sure. What's our final topic? Oh, it is audio related.
So there's a new variant of AirPods Pro 3 that are rumored to come out later this year with IR cameras. AirPods with IR cameras. I could see maybe adding that to the iPhone Pro, because you could actually get some pretty cool, really cool shots of IR cameras on iPhone. Not gonna lie, actually, that would be pretty cool if they added an IR camera to an iPhone, or even better, an IR blaster. So that way, like on old Android phones, that would be cool to see on iPhones.
But AirPods?
Apple. I'm afraid Apple is called artificial intelligence disease. I'm afraid they still have it, if this is true.
Makes you have to ask that one John Prosser question.
What John Prosser question?
On a scale from 1 to all of them.
How many drugs are they on?
Yep. On a scale from 1 to all of them, how many drugs are they on? It's just, why? It's an audio product. I mean, the only thing that would make sense is for the same sensor that detects is it in your ear or not, but it's like, what are we going to start taking pictures from our ear all of a sudden?
We know Apple's not as good as privacy as they advertise. I don't necessarily want Apple selling to third-party data brokers pictures inside my ear.
I don't think they'd want mine at all. It's just earwax. That's all that's inside my ear. It's just earwax. So, no idea what they're thinking with this. I hope this rumor is false and just a load of baloney from an intention seeker. Because that just makes no sense.
Should we make a bet if these actually come out?
I thought you were against betting.
Well, I'm not money. Like, should we make a bet if these actually come out this year?
Well, I'm not shaving my eyebrows because I need those.
I'm not shaving my eyebrows either. What bet could we make?
It's got to be embarrassing.
It's got to be embarrassing.
But not YouTube questionable. Has to be safe for work embarrassing, as they'd say.
If these actually come out... This is going to be
I know what I
highly
can do.
What?
I know what I could do. If these actually come out, I will record the next episode of the show on my PC without a dedicated graphics card.
I was thinking a little something more embarrassing.
Name it.
I was thinking for one episode, we could have our hair dyed. Some stupid color.
I don't dye my hair.
Yeah, we could shave
I'll
our
do
heads.
wigs. I will not dye my hair.
Yeah, we could do wigs. That'll actually work. We could shave our heads too.
Oh gosh, no, I'm not shaving. My family has a history of baldness. I don't want to get there faster.
So you're already gonna go. You're already most likely gonna go bald anyway. So why not start earlier?
I'll keep my locks as long as I have them. Even though I just got a haircut.
Yeah. You know, you're old enough now to where you can start balding any day now.
Don't mention it. I've already got gray hairs.
We can wear gray... I got it. We can wear hair wigs. No, actually, I don't want to wear... We could do... What's something else we could do if these come out? I mean, the PC, that's good. What's a bad computer I could record this show on?
Your '09 iMac?
It's an 08.
Oh, it's '08. Even better. I think that's the oldest iMac you have with an eyesight cam.
Yeah. Wait a second. I'll bet you I could get that running on my mid-2009 MacBook.
Oh.
No, actually my mid-08 iMac will probably be the best. Yep, I'll record. Actually, how about we just record the show on our old iMacs if the AirPods Pro 3 with IR cameras come out later this year.
I suppose. I just got to figure out how to get OBS running on mine because I'm having a few bugs.
Without external webcams. And
the show's gonna look and sound so bad.
Oh, and did I forget to mention that that if you want, I will even edit it on my 08 iMac.
Oh. That's gonna take days to export.
I would clock it down to a lower resolution, obviously.
I mean, the point is the show's gonna look so embarrassingly bad, so I guess why not? How low of a resolution can you export on iMovie? Can it do 480?
Really old versions, I don't know, but it might. But I will edit that whole. All right, we'll make a deal. If these AirPods Pro 3 with IR cameras are actually released, I will record and edit the show and upload it on this 2008 iMac.
I guess I'll have to pull my '09 iMac out and, well, it is out. I just need to drag my chair over there. The show's gonna look so bad.
That's why these things. That's how confident I am that these things aren't gonna release. Or wait a second. Maybe a second. Maybe we could step this up. Oh, and on this episode, we could have topics suggested by ChatGPT.
Oh God.
We could
ultimate offense.
We could have topics given by ChatGPT.
What the heck?
And what's something else that we could do to add on to this bet? Or hear me out.
Do I want to? How bad is this idea?
Why don't we get Windows Microsoft merch and wear that on the show too, like Windows hats and whatnot. If we can. Or
so in other words, I need to make sure that this is extra exposed, and I'll have to bring my XPS home. Make sure that's home.
They actually sell Windows XP Crocs, so we could wear those on the show.
And it sucks that I often wear sandals wherever I go.
Windows XP. Actually, Windows XP Crocs I think are pretty expensive, so maybe not Windows XP Crocs.
Keep in mind, I'm on a budget. I got a house to build at some point.
Yeah. The iMac thing I think will work, though.
Yeah, the iMac will work just fine.
Oh, yeah, that'll be pretty. Maybe we could try to get Gretchen on this show, on that show too.
No.
You know, really make it the ultimate show.
Oh. If that were to happen, this room would have a bunch of holes in the wall. About the size of my head. Oh gosh. That one is definitely not happening though.
I was joking about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Everyone in the state hates Gretchen. And it's for
No.
good reason.
Yeah. Or now, if she was on the show, would the holes be as big as your head with hair or your bald head?
Gosh. Just hope she doesn't become your president next election. That's how I'll put it. Anywho, okay. I think that's enough.
Moving on.
We got a bad enough bet as is.
We got bad enough that we're recording on 08 iMacs. You have an 09, I have an 08.
Yeah. 09, 08, same difference. It's still the same generation, basically.
Yeah, because it's
I just
an
might have
09.
a slightly newer chip.
I'll probably will have to buy some more. Oh, and I'll have to buy some more RAM for my 08 iMac too.
Is it maxed out
And
at... Oh, you still got the original hard drive in it, don't you?
And the original RAM, so
How much memory does it have?
2 gigabytes, I think.
Oh,
And there's no way I can run a podcast. And it has a 750 gigabyte hard drive. So you know what that means. I'll have to do to make it adequate. I probably won't get a full 7 equivalent SSD, but...
Can you even get SSDs in that exact capacity?
I mean, to get an SSD of that capacity or more would probably cost me... I don't even want to know how much.
Probably close to $200. Well, it's SATA, but it's still an SSD. So, yeah, probably $150, $200. Hey, in fairness, each hard drive for this thing is going to cost, I kid you not, $500.
You're getting a lot of storage, though.
Yeah.
And hard drives, I don't think, are quite as affected by this. Oh, don't tell me! Don't tell me hard drives are expensive now, too! Don't tell me!
Their prices may or may not be ever so slightly, steadily starting to increase.
Maybe I'll need to find a new hobby.
You need to find a new what?
Hobby.
Oh.
I
thought I
joking,
did.
obviously.
Hey, I thought I did that with electric vehicles. Look how that's turned out.
And maybe I need to. Yeah, maybe it's time to. Actually, the RAM prices I know will go back down eventually.
It'll just be a few years before that happens.
Yeah, we gotta wait for some crashes to happen with AI.
Yep.
The big AI crash. I'm picturing it. I can picture us covering it.
Oh, and it'll be another one of those "I told you so" moments.
It won't be. It'll probably be I don't know if it'll be a slow crash or a big one, but
I genuinely think it's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be one of the U.S.'s greatest recessions in history. I think it's gonna be that bad.
All because of a few tech companies
Obsessed over a stupid set of 2 letters.
It's worse than that. It's worse than 6-7.
Yeah. Yeah, the sad thing is it's just going to continue to get worse before anything gets better. So, at this point, I'd say just prepare for another huge recession. And be prepared for whatever money you have in your bank account to not be worth all that much. I think it's gonna be off. It's gonna be so bad. It'll make the history books.
Yeah, the AI. Now, granted, it might because it's only among AI. It might not be quite as widespread as the Great Depression, but it'll still be. Actually, wait a second. The Great Depression is.
The problem is every company is betting on it. I mean, even outside of tech companies, we had like McDonald's tried to incorporate it. That went well.
McDonald's is using AI now.
They tried. I hear that they are canceling their trials of AI. But yeah, they tried to have AI-powered drive-thrus.
What? Drive-thru? People who work for drive-thrus already mess up the orders enough as is.
Oh, AI was so bad. Apparently an AI model thought it was a great idea to serve ice cream inside McDouble.
What?
It was either that or chicken nuggets. I don't remember, but somehow ice cream ended up getting in the order.
Wait a second. Their ice cream machines actually worked?
Apparently so. Ladies and gentlemen, there, we found a use for AI, ladies and gentlemen. AI fixed McDonald's ice cream machine. Just not the way I think anyone intended. Oh. No, yeah, there are so many companies outside of tech that are trying to integrate AI into something for their shareholders and investors because, oh, it's the next big thing, everybody. It's the future.
And they often don't know any better.
Oh, no, they do not. Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare because it's not only big tech that's betting so high on trying to develop the technology. There are so many companies that are trying to integrate this technology because, well, they want to be seen as tech forward and advancing to the future.
AI will be a bigger crash. AI will cause far of a bigger crash than the climate change scam.
Yes. Yeah, no, I am calling it. That is a bet I am very safe on making. This is going to be one of the biggest recessions that we're going to see in history.
The only other lie that's bigger than AI is the myth of Santa Claus. Which actually, the real Saint Nicholas, that's actually quite a fascinating story.
Yeah, the story of Saint Nick. That's Saint Nick was a real person.
He lived in Turkey, actually, and he was known for his spirit of giving gifts. And in Italy, has now claimed his remains, and alongside I think a couple other countries. So Saint Nick was a real. I actually looked that up one Christmas Eve to figure it out, but now that I know but you want to know a funny thing, this is not tech related, but one time. But back when I was, I still technically have it somewhere, back when I was younger, I used to have an elf. Well, I still do, but one time, back in 3rd grade, I brought my elf to school once.
This isn't for an elf on the shelf prank, is it?
It was an elf on a shelf, but what I did, but my 3rd grade class, and I think the teacher too, we all left for lunch. And when we came back, the elf had entirely destroyed, the elf apparently destroyed the entire classroom. He turned desks upside down. He printed off a creepy picture of Santa Claus and put that on one of my friend's desks. It was Christmas time 2017. That's aside the point. But now that I know that elves can't do that themselves and that there's people that have to be managing it, managing it, I'm wondering, who actually destroyed the entire classroom? Because all the kids were at lunch, and surely my teacher would destroy an entire classroom.
You drive a teacher nuts enough. I'm sure you can get her to her breaking point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that might have been it. But yeah, that. And I'm like, why would it? So maybe it was my teacher after all that destroyed the classroom because of the Alien on the Elf. I'm like, why? And then my elf teacher said that I couldn't bring my elf back to school, even though now I know that elves can't do it themselves. Want to know who actually did it?
Might have been the Smurfs then.
Smurfs are also fake.
Yeah. That's what we always do when something, when we detect some shenanigans. Usually when something goes missing, we blame the Smurfs.
It's like saying ghosts are real.
I'm not going to go there.
We have actually talked about it on the show, believe it or not, but that's aside the point.
Yeah.
But
Nonetheless, we got through all of our topics. And it's only 8:12.
We still got 48 minutes left to go on side tangents.
Whew, side tangent, side tangent. Where's a side tangent I can side tangent off to? Because usually I'm good with side tangents.
Yeah, we got haircuts.
Yeah, we did get that.
I decided not to grow a man bun after all.
Didn't want to go for a mega legs look?
I didn't quite do that.
If I recall, he does actually rock a man bun, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He does.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Surprised you didn't want to go for his look either.
That would take such a long time to grow my hair long enough to the point where you could actually put it in a bun. But no, honestly, I like the mullet. Even though it's not very visible right now because I got it significantly trimmed. But no, I'm a mullet guy.
Yeah. You're just like 80s. You're like all the early 90s country stars. And
I do like that type of music.
And most importantly, everybody in the 1980s.
Back when those were big. I mean, they kind of became a thing after COVID came in because people stopped going to the barbershop.
And they wanted to go back to the simpler times, so they all got their mullets. Now there's not that many people at my school with mullets anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably one of the few people around here that actually still rocks one.
I've actually thought about growing a full 1980s mullet for prom.
Not sure what the ladies would think of that. Then again, I don't know. I'm not in a relationship at the moment, so I have no idea what the ladies would be thinking. Despite that, I practically live with my mom and sisters.
Yeah.
Well, my sisters aren't your average girl, so.
They don't seem average to me, as they like stuffed animals.
They are not. Well, they do like fuzzy things. That is typical, but that's pretty much the only typical thing about them.
Don't they also run late too? That's typical for girls.
On and off. They'll be on and off about running late. But no, something atypical. Let's just say one of them is able to compete in a farting contest against my dad. That is not typical.
Or how about we can actually compete in a farting contest on this show if you want.
Oh gosh.
In fact, Because I'm lactose intolerant, if we do an in-person show sometime,
gosh.
what we could do is we could have a farting contest on that show because I'm lactose intolerant, so I just gotta eat some lactose. Or else fried food. As fried food does a pretty good job of doing that to me too, and then we could really get our farting contest going.
Oh. Yeah, you want to know the crazy part? I have a younger sister and a much younger sister. That's how I put it. Guess which one competes with my dad in the farting contest?
The older one.
No. The youngest.
I expected that.
They are nasty. I mean, nasty.
You know that I can actually show, if I ever do come and see them, I can actually show them the proper farting position. Because there is a position that you can get to get more gas to come out.
I think my dad's already done that. Thank you very much. Oh.
You should try to beat both of them.
Well, I'm trying to get a girlfriend, and farting typically does not do that. So
they don't have to know.
Well, it's either you do them loud and proud or silent but deadly. They'll know either way.
It's just like how according to the ladies in my school, I never fart. Even in class during a math test, or even in a class when the teacher is getting observed by someone from the county. That's never happened before.
Yeah.
Actually, that has happened.
Do I want to know that story? I'm afraid to ask because we're out of topics, and yet this is going to be on a wild ride.
I have unfortunately farted in class many times because my stomach has gotten upset.
We've all been there. I'm sure we all have been there.
So one time when my stomach was really upset last fall, I farted in Algebra 2 during a math test. I farted during a test when it was supposed to be silent, and I think the kids eventually did figure out that was me. And then one time when I was in another class, my stomach was upset, so I may or may not have released some when my teacher was getting observed by someone from the district.
That is totally not awkward at all.
Yeah. Back in fourth grade, I had so many stomach problems that I used to be known for dropping bombs in there.
My mom came up with this awful joke in regards to AirPods. We were on our way home from Thanksgiving one year. She was trying to tell me something, so I go to remove one of my AirPods, and then I dropped it. And so I start looking around for it in the car.
Oh!
Then she's,
oh no. Don't tell me.
So she asked, "What are you doing?" And I told her, "I dropped an AirPod." She says, "Well, that's a funny way to explain that you farted."
An AirPod? Did you fart?
No.
That might have to be the episode title. Did you drop an AirPod?
Oh gosh, I hate that joke so much. I can't.
It's a pod of air, an AirPod.
Yes, it is.
Remember that I smell peripheral that you Remember the I smell computer peripheral that you could get?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Imagine if we had those hooked up to our computer right now.
Oh, gosh. What the reason most people buy them was just to make their own custom fart sense.
I think so. I mean, when I get my Tesla Model 3, my plan is to make the horn sound like a fart.
And your turn signals?
You can make turn signals sound like that too?
Yep.
Okay, I'm 100% doing that.
I did that when I rented the Model 3. right as because this was I was visiting Tabby. We went to go pick it up. Me, Talon, and Tabby. We went to go pick up the car. Talon drove my car back because we took Stardust to go pick it up. Tabby was in the Model 3 with me, and right before he had gotten in, I had quickly changed the turn signals to start making farting noises. And so as I signaled to get out of the guy's driveway... He was looking at me so funny the entire time.
The only exception if to maybe not making the turn signals and horn sound like a fart is if I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, that'd be the one time you
Or
definitely want to leave that off. But yeah, just go into the toy box, into emissions testing mode. Since that's what Tesla calls it.
They call emissions testing mode when you can change it to all fart sounds.
Do you want to know why they called it that?
Because it's testing human emission. Sounds like testing human emissions.
Yeah, do you know where they came up with the name from?
No.
It is a jab at Volkswagen for Dieselgate, because Volkswagen had their emissions testing mode.
Oh.
So Tesla decided, Volkswagen. This is how they decided to say Volkswagen. What your emissions test? You thought you built a proper emissions testing mode? Oh, heck no. We built an even better emissions testing mode that doesn't even get you in legal trouble. And their emissions testing mode is what is now known today as fart mode.
They should just simplify it to fart mode.
Yeah, they keep the emissions testing just to keep jabbing at Volkswagen.
Wonder if Volkswagen will eventually add emissions testing. Oh wait, they probably can't add anything that's called emissions testing mode.
Yeah, they can't do that anymore for obvious reasons.
I didn't even know that whole thing happened until just recently.
Yeah. Oh, that was so funny. I find it hilarious that Tesla is still jabbing at Volkswagen with the emissions testing mode, and yet they use Volkswagen in their universal wall connector promotional material. Because if you look at the pictures for the universal wall connector, the marketing materials for that, because the thing with the universal wall connector is it has both the NACS and Type 1 connector built in, the adapter. So to promote the Type 1 connector abilities, well, Teslas don't have Type 1, they're NACS only. So they actually used Volkswagen ID4 for the marketing material for the Type 1 adapter built into the universal wall connector. As funny as that is, and yet they still jab at them with emissions testing mode.
They could call it explosion mode to mock Samsung.
One of their fart sounds, because you can choose multiple fart sound effects. One of them literally is explosion.
That probably sounds about as loud as that one time I farted when I was in England. I kid you not, some of the people next one time my stomach was upset and I farted so loudly when I was in England that the people next to me thought that I was playing with fart noises on my phone. That's how loud it was.
I just hope you didn't do it in front of the Queen. Oh wait, the Queen's dead. The King.
No, I did not do it in front of the King, thank goodness. Otherwise, I'd probably be in jail. I don't actually know what the punishment is in the UK for farting in front of the King.
Well, based off of what Joe Biden did in front of the Queen a few years ago, I guess it can't be that harsh.
Oh, did he? No, wait, I know what happened. He let out and I think it was more than an electric fart.
Based off the sound from the clip that played from the media, based off the sound. Oh gosh. That was embarrassing.
The president of the United States pooping his pants.
Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious.
I forgot about that, but yeah, what else is go?
Alright. Is there anything else going on aside from bad gas?
I mean, one time, or a little over a year ago, my dad put bad gas in his F-150, which he's now selling, and he had to park that for a while since it wouldn't run due to bad gas. Get it?
Yes. Oh. Yeah, speaking of gas and cars and all that, I was hoping to take the Yukon a lot more this winter because, well, my car's practically a sled. I have not been able to do that all but one time so far.
Let me guess. It's not working properly.
Well, I was going to say no, but I'd be lying if I said no. It's a different reason.
Your mom is claiming it?
My sister.
Oh.
Because at the moment, her car has no brakes. I mean, like, legitimately, no brakes.
What car does your sister drive again?
She bought the silver one from my parents, so it's a 2011 Buick Lucerne.
Ah.
Yeah, similar to Red Fox, but newer and silver. And at the moment, that car has legitimately no brakes. You push the brake pedal, there's nothing even applying a force to the brake pads.
Wasn't that the same car that got you stranded 2.5 hours away from home back in 2021?
Yeah, that was the exact car. Fuel pump failure. That's what happened. But no, what's going on with her car right now is the master cylinder failed for the braking system. And the master cylinder is actually what applies hydraulic pressure to your brakes. So right now there is nothing to apply hydraulic pressure to the brakes. So she can't drive her car, and that's why she's commandeered the Yukon. The problem is this car has been out of commission for, I think I can say 3 months at this point.
I thought I'd been out of commission for years, but
there's a bit of a problem that we've discovered trying to fix this car.
Oh, no.
So, we know it's the master cylinder that failed. So we're trying to get a new one. Okay, my dad gets a new one. Goes to install it. He can't thread the hydraulic lines in.
That's because a lot of times Chinese car parts don't fit.
That's not a Chinese part.
Well, a lot of times replacement parts don't fit, I should say.
Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, the threads don't fit. Okay, he goes to return that. He inquires and makes sure, yep, this is the exact right part number that is supposed to go with this car. And he does this 4 times. It does not thread.
Actually, my dad had a similar problem because back in 2022, I think it was some type of door issue that was, well, it was his car then, but it's what's now my car. But there was some type of a door issue when he ordered some parts off of eBay that were supposed to fit it, and it didn't work. So that time that car was out of commission for a couple of weeks, actually.
Yeah. As it turns out, whenever you need to do anything braking wise for a Buick Lucerne, don't matter which year, you cannot get a proper master cylinder for the car. They don't exist. Every single one that you order will come with the wrong threads. And I'm just baffled.
So,
how do you screw that up? It's the same part across all models. All years.
How do you, just really quickly, will that car ever run again?
I mean, I hope. It's just, it's just infuriating because this is a common GM part that they use across many of their models. Not just the Buick Lucerne from that era. And yet, it does not matter. You get the proper part number that corresponds to that car. You will always get a master cylinder with the exact same spec wrong threads. They will not thread. And the same goes true with apparently the brake pads. I found that out the hard way when I had to do a brake pad change.
Was that on the silver one or was that on Red Fox?
Both!
Oh.
When you get new brake pads for a Buick Lucerne, they do not come in the right size. They never do, and they never will. You have to grind them down so they fit in the calipers.
Can you grind down the threads or not?
Well, if you grind down the threads, then there's no threads.
So there's
The
basically
grinding
no way to
process.
take it
Yeah, the grinding process involves removing material.
Yeah, I know what that means, but I mean, okay. So I'm guessing there's literally no way to make the threads physically thread.
Yeah. So basically, he's gonna have to look somewhere and buy new fittings and change out the fittings. That's the current step where it doesn't matter. We've gone through 4 master cylinders from multiple auto parts stores, and they cannot get us one that will work with those threads. So he's going to change out the fittings. And hopefully they won't fail, because that means now he's got to do it. He's got to hack it on. So, yeah, that's something you'd totally trust. A hacked on job with your master cylinder. Really?
That's not dangerous.
Yeah, totally not dangerous at all. As long as you know how to slow down using your transmission. So, yeah, it's just infuriating. Brake components for that particular car, they don't come the right size.
That's right. But how do you, are they an automatic transmission?
Well, doesn't matter. Shouldn't really matter which transmission you have. You should be able to slow down via your transmission.
So if you know, so if you don't, so if so you have to use the paddle shifters. To
Yeah,
slow
downshift.
down. So you have to use the paddle shifters to slow
Well,
down.
her car
without-
doesn't have paddle. Her car doesn't have paddles because it's only a 4-speed auto. So they put every individual gear on the shifter, which is my car. The shifter was on the column, but hers it's in the center console because hers is a 5-passenger. Red Fox was a 6-passenger. So, but
Wait a second.
No,
Red Fox was a 6-passenger sedan.
Yep.
So in other words, you can fit 6 people into a sedan.
Yeah.
And people say that they need SUVs in order to fit people.
In fact, back when we still had it, our '04 Park Avenue, that was a 6-passenger sedan as well.
Okay, we need 6-passenger sedans to come back.
I personally don't like them for the same reason why I don't like 6-passenger trucks. Because you know where the 6-passenger goes, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I typically don't like them for that reason because the driver needs space to be able to operate the vehicle. And when you pack 6 people into a car like that, it gets a little tight. So... But, no, yeah, they used to exist. And I have used the 6th seat in my car a grand total of 0 times.
Well, your mom never had that extra kid, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did use the 6th seat in the Park Ave a bunch, though.
Was that for carpooling?
Yeah, mostly. I mean, not when we carpooled with our neighbors to school, because we needed more boosters than we could fit in the car. But, no, yeah, we used the 6th seat in that Park Ave quite a bunch, actually. But, yeah, 6-passenger sedans are a thing. I used to own one. That was Red Fox.
I don't think I've ever had, I have never had more than 3 people in my car at once.
Well, you're a family of 3. I live with a family of 5, so.
Yeah. Well, technically 2 because my parents are split.
Details. Yep. This iMac is screaming hot right now.
Well, sounds like recording on your own iMac will be no problem if the stupid IR cameras on AirPods come out, since we know how toasty those iMacs are going to get. Oh, we might need to get new thermal paste for them if this actually happens.
Well, I repasted in my iMac when I tore it apart. So
I have not repasted mine yet, so...
Yeah, you might need to repaste yours.
I've actually never repasted a computer in my life.
I've pasted how many computers? I've done the iMac. I've done this. I've done the... Well, technically, no. I used the factory thermal paste that came on the cooler with the AMD computer. But, no, I've thermal pasted computers a bunch.
Yeah, but it sounds like it'll be no problem for our computers. They'll get very hot.
I'm not complaining. It's the middle of winter in UP, Michigan right now.
But what if these come out at Dub?
Oh crap! You're right. By the time this comes out, it will be in the summer.
Or what if they come out in they'll most likely come out in September if they do. But still, what if these happen at Dub?
I don't actually know when they're holding WWDC this year, but...
They'll announce it in March.
Yeah. Whew. I'm trying to figure out what was I going to do this evening. Wasn't edit a video. I've already done that. Perhaps I should just continue to do more writing.
Was it were you going to go buy another CVT car? Or a CVT car?
Those things are terrible. Definitely not buying a CVT car.
Wait a second. I just got the ultimate idea for a car.
No. Teddy, no.
You take a Fisker Ocean and you put a CVT in it. Make it even worse.
Thank goodness the only cars, the only EVs that I know that are using transmissions today are just Porsches, and that's it.
What did you think I was going to say when you said Teddy no?
I thought you were going to tell me if we lost the bet that I had to go buy a CVT vehicle.
Oh, we could make that the bet, though. We can make it where we both drive good CVT cars. I've
already driven a CVT car, the Chevy Malibu. Go watch it on the Random Outfit Drive.
I have, but it's not truly the experience until we own CVT cars. Actually, yeah, you're right. That's a stupid idea. I would never buy a CVT. And my dad won't let me. My dad won't let me buy a CVT car anyway because he also hates them.
Yeah. Yeah, driving dynamics have nothing to do with it. It's all about mechanical flawed design.
Can you imagine how bad a Fisker Ocean would be with a CVT?
Especially with all that torque, it's just going to smoke through that belt.
The Fisker Ocean had a lot of torque.
Well, it's an electric car. It's got loads of torque at 0 RPM.
What's other cars we could modify to have a CVT? How about giving Stardust a CVT?
Oh, no. Absolutely not. I don't even know if you could fit one in there, to be honest. Because that engine bay is already pretty packed.
Or Red Fox of a CVT. I know you don't have it anymore, but...
Yeah, Red Fox is at the junkyard now.
What else?
Actually, I don't even know if she's still there yet.
What? Yeah, we could... I was getting a little bit scared when he said Teddy no.
Oh, that'd be a bad idea. That'd be a really bad idea. No, if you're looking for a car with a CVT, pretty much any Nissan, except their trucks. Their trucks use 7-speed auto, I think. But pretty much every Nissan out there that's not electric or their trucks has a CVT. A lot of Subarus do. A lot of base model Hondas have CVTs.
So it sounds like don't buy a Japanese car anymore. For the most part.
Oh yeah. The cheap ones. Don't buy a cheap Japanese car because they're all using CVTs.
Toyota's going to CVTs.
Yeah, they have CVTs in them too, which again, it's kind of ironic because Toyota's known for their reliability, am I right?
Are these same CVT cars the same ones where the wheels fall off and the same ones that are exploding?
Well, the ones with the wheels falling off are the electric ones, so those don't have CVTs.
Because EVs are bad cars because their wheels fall off.
Yeah, precisely. Don't drive an EV. Your wheels will fall off. Oh. And then the ones with the engines exploding, that's the GR Corolla. I highly doubt you can get a GR Corolla with CVT.
Yeah. I mean...
Oh, and then the Toyotas... The other Toyotas with the exploding engine. Oh, yeah, they're pickup trucks. No, you're not going to find CVTs in their trucks.
I mean, maybe someday there will be exploding CVTs with Toyotas. Hopefully not, though.
Oh, those are awful failures. Those are just awful failures. I'm sure the Prius has one. Yeah, I think the Prius, the Sienna, the Corolla, base models at least, not the GR. I think you can get a CVT and a Camry too, I think. But, no, yeah, the Japanese have really embraced CVT technology, which is a shame because they're known for their reliability, and CVTs are not.
I just got an idea, speaking of the Toyota Prius.
How bad is it?
If we meet up sometime, we could do a car. We could drive around in Toyota Priuses, trying to look cool around town.
Oh, so basically you want me to find the guy with anime sticker bomb Toyota Prius?
Yeah, we could try. We could really try to impress people with that.
I hate how frequently I see that car. It is an ugly vehicle. It looks so bad. And I hate how often I see that car. I see it all the time every time I go to Walmart. But no, the guy does not work there. But I see it all the time when I go to Walmart. I see it all the time when I cross the bridge. I do not. I don't know the guy. But you cannot mistaken him because you cannot mistaken his anime sticker bombed Prius. It is just... It's that teal green color. It's when they really went wacky with the design of the Prius. And... oh, it is just an ugly car.
How about we go both get Priuses if we lose this bet? Like we start driving around in a good old Toyota Prius, newer ones too.
I hate the new ones. People tell me, "Oh, the new ones look so good." No, it does not look good at all. Toyota's latest design language looks like it looks like a 3-year-old attempted to draw a smiley face. That's what I think of Toyota's latest design language.
Remember that back when the Toyota Prius actually used to look like a normal car? Back in the early 2010s? And people actually bought them because they looked normal?
Yeah, you didn't look like a complete douchebag driving down the road.
An old Toyota Prius, I would totally drive that thing, but a new one...
Those things are so ugly. Especially that anime sticker bomb one. I hate seeing that thing.
I'm sure that's probably the most famous car in Houghton, if I had to guess.
It's one of them. Yep, it's that or the Cybertruck that drives around in Calumet. That's an infamous one. Well, then there's also the Model S Plaid that I spot. That's a nice one that I like spotting.
Well, it's a Model S Plaid instead of a Toyota Prius with anime stickers.
Yeah. Oh, is there any other... Oh, someone around here, you only see it during the summer, but someone has this interesting truck where the cab is about the size of a semi-truck, but it's mounted on a half-ton pickup frame. It is just a bizarre-looking thing. You only see it in the summer, though, because it's put away to prevent it from rusting. No, yeah, we got some cars up here that they're... If you know, you know.
I'm trying to think of famous cars around my school. Or around my area, I should say. I'm trying to think of famous ones that you know. Oh, there's one guy, and there's one, I think it's a guy in my city who drives a red Subaru pickup truck.
Is it the Baja or the Brat?
It's the Baja, I think.
Ah.
That's not that unusual. It's just an old Subaru truck, so that's one you can usually spot pretty easily, though. I live in prime SUV and pickup truck country, so I don't really see people doing that many unusual things to their trucks.
I'm surprised that hardly anybody recognizes me passing by. Despite that, I legit have the only pepper dust metallic 2019 Buick Lucerne hybrid in the area. My car is one of one in this area. You cannot miss it. You know it's me when you see that car drive through here.
Oh, I forgot. There's this one dad of. Wait, why is my dad calling me?
I don't know.
I am recording an episode of my podcast. He knows I record this time too. Does he not remember when I record my podcast?
I don't know. In fairness, we did have a roughly month-long break, so.
Yeah.
But.
Oh,
there are some certain cars around here that are certainly recognizable. you can't miss them.
I forgot to mention there's this one dad at my school and his son. And my dad apologized for making that call, but there's this one dad at my school of who his kid is a grade below mine, but he, from what I understand, from what the kids have talked about, he does real estate. But there's one guy who he has lots of very expensive cars, he has a Lamborghini. A lime green Lamborghini that he drove to school and to pick up his kid. He has a Porsche. He has a BMW. He has a BMW M car too. And now I think he mostly drives a McLaren.
Jeez.
And I'm probably not going to see that thing anymore since I'm assuming that guy's kid is going to start driving to school sometime.
Probably. Although, who knows? He might show up in that McLaren. Doubt it.
Oh my God. Imagine if there's a McLaren parked at my school. There's already one other Mercedes at my school. I'm gonna be toast if that happens.
Yep. Well, does anybody else drive a Model 3?
Yeah, there's a few other people in my city that do. There's a Rivian. There's one guy at my school who drives a Nissan Altima. Actually, I think there's a few Altimas.
Well, given that they're cheap cars, I wouldn't be shocked. Oh, those have CVTs in them. I'm willing to bet.
And they're often and Nissan Altimas have some of the worst reputations for bad drivers too.
I mean, there is the saying out there, something about big Ultima energy.
Yes, big Ultima. Yeah, we're not going there because that has some very negative connotations of that. But in my area, I find that Toyotas are generally the worst drivers. I don't know why, but if I get slowed down, it's most likely often a Toyota.
Here, it's Subaru.
Yes.
There are so many Subarus up here, and I don't understand why. It's like...
And they're not even performance cars, too.
I'm trying to understand the loyalty behind Subaru. They make okay cars.
Yeah, for the performance cars, I can sort of get it because they were at one point a Japanese automaker dynasty when it came to performance cars. They're very popular in Japan. They have very popular race cars in Japan, so so I get loyalty to those, but loyalty to Subaru, Crosstrek, and whatever their SUVs are. I'm sorry, I don't get it either.
Yeah, the Forester. It's an okay car. There are so many Foresters around here. It's an okay car. It's nothing special. And yet they are diehard Subaru fans. Same with the Outback. And I'd understand at one point the Outback once upon a time was the station wagon. Despite that they still try to market it as a station wagon, I'm sorry, the Outback is no longer in the form of a station wagon.
Also, that's a little bit confusing for a Japanese car brand to market a car as, since when you think of Outback, you think of the land down under, where the women glow and give thunder.
Can't you hear the thunder? Better run, you better take cover.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Shall I go ahead and conclude the show now?
I think so. My nose is getting mad at me again, and I'm probably just going to open up my book project and continue in that. Oh, my tissue.
Alright, so as always, if you're all tuning into another episode of the iTunes Fan Podcast, as always, I'm Teddy Mack, the iTunes Fanboy.
And my name is Alpha DeWolf from the Random Alpha.
And we're all encouraging you to get rid of your cars of CVT transmissions and to boycott the CVT. And as always, we'll see you later. And peace out.
See ya.